Yes, sir.
All right, how you guys doing? It's Feature Friday here. I'm very honored at this time to welcome Kenneth Snow of the Snow Legal Group, class of 1990, Johnson C. Smith. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, great. Well, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, your current occupation, what exactly you're doing, what class, and things of that sort.
Okay. Well, first I came to school in 1984. I left Johnson C. Smith for a little while, and I came back and I finished in 1990. So I kind of know people from the 1988 class as well as the 1990 class. But I'm blessed to have been a Johnson C. Smith graduate, and certainly thought I had a good foundation there at Smith. And now I'm a lawyer. I didn't take the traditional route to becoming a lawyer. Actually worked for several years before becoming a lawyer. In fact, I ended up working at Johnson C. Smith University from about 1995 to 1997.
Okay.
In an admissions office.
Oh, wow. You've seen
Yeah.
it all. So
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that transition. What made you decide to go back and get the law degree? What made you, because that's a big jump.
Well, I had worked right after undergrad, after I left Johnson C. Smith, worked in sales for a brief while. Mm-hmm. Then I got involved with admissions. I worked at Barbara Scotia College for a while. Then I went to Coastal Carolina University in Myrtle Beach. And, I had traveled around the country, literally traveling around the country, telling young people to pursue their dreams. And I enjoyed what I did. I got a chance to meet a lot of people and hopefully inspired a lot of young people. And one day I looked up, I said, I'm somewhat of a hypocrite because I'm not pursuing what I really want to do. And it was then the fear of failure that kept me from doing what I wanted to do. And so while I was at Coastal Carolina, I think it was now in the year of 1995, I think approximately, working there as an admissions counselor, as a recruiter, I went to talk with a couple of people that were lawyers and that were in the pre-law program. Again, I was working there. I know that I wanted to get a graduate degree of some sort, mm-hmm. but I had really faced what I really wanted to do. And I thought, hey, law school is tough, but I had to look myself in the eye and said, you know what, this is what you really want to do. Why don't you try to do it? And so got some advice from some good people and ended up coming back to Johnson C. Smith University and working for a couple of years as I planned my transition into law school. I worked for Johnson C. Smith for about a year and a half, 2 years. And I tell you, that was certainly probably one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had, to work at my alma mater and impact people. And so that was a great experience for me. But then I left there in 1997, August, and I went on to North Carolina Central School of Law, where I have my law degree. Again, a dream of a lifetime, and had an opportunity to go to Central, and I did so, and I excelled there, and here I am now.
Nice.
But I want to speak a little bit about where I came from. So, I came from Georgetown, South Carolina, a small town, beautiful city, but I didn't know any Black lawyers there. In fact, I don't know if there were any Black lawyers at the time, but anyway, so I didn't know anyone. But I had that dream of becoming a lawyer long before even coming to Smith, but I had to deal with reality. And sometimes reality is frightening of what you have to go through. But came to Johnson Smith, and certainly even at that point, I kind of delayed my what I really wanted to do. And then it came back to me when I became an admissions counselor. This is really what I wanted to do. And so here I am. It was a blessing for me to do so.
Nice. Well, I mean, I imagine going from not seeing any Black attorneys growing up to them becoming one, I imagine you've experienced several challenges in your career. Tell us a little bit, what have you had to kind of overcome in getting to the position where you're at now, running your own firm?
Well, like any other challenge, it's something it is certainly tough running your own practice, mm-hmm. but again, a blessing at the same time, because I actually do what I love to do and make a living from it. And most people are hesitant about getting out of the business and doing their own business, and I get that. But every day brings on a new challenge for me. Every day inspires me, because what certainly is rewarding is representing people who may not have a voice. And I wanted to always speak for the voiceless, and be that person that will advocate for those who can't advocate for themselves. So
Nice.
I'm able to do that. So on a daily basis, I love what I do. I love being an entrepreneur. So
Well, in light, I mean, kind of picking up on that, I know we've got a lot going on with the protests right now at this time, at the time of this recording. And I noticed that your firm has stepped up in providing pro bono legal advice right now to the protesters. Tell us a little bit about more what you have going on there.
well, first, if you don't mind, let me first say that my heart goes out to the Floyd family and the victims and victims of families who have had to dealt with police brutality and excessive force. There, of course, if you can imagine, there are a number of people who've dealt with the situation that aren't on videotape. Many incidents aren't on videotape. We see the very rare ones that are on videotape. And I'm certainly not painting police officers with a broad brush or prosecutors with a broad brush. I have, loved ones. I have two brother-in-laws and a nephew now that are in law enforcement. So I have a great appreciation, respect for law enforcement. But as you well know, there are certainly bad apples in law enforcement. And so I am concerned about those things that we don't see from time to time, that's not videotaped. And so we decided as a firm to provide pro bono services to those who are peacefully protesting. Uh, I will tell you up front, I certainly believe in peaceful protest. Um, I don't believe in, because I think it distracts from the mission or the message of the peaceful protesters. I don't believe in the violence, some of the violence that you've seen on TV, the looting, destroying property. I know that's a small percentage of those who are out there peacefully protesting, but I want to represent people who are just peacefully protesting, that are out there and need good representation.
Okay, good, good. Well, I thank you, number one, for offering that, because there's a lot of pitfalls. We need people like yourself to make sure we are protected. I appreciate that. So, since I have you here, I know you're based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, but we do have Smithites kind of all over the country. Can you give some clarity on anything that we can do? We don't, we're not naturally adept to legal laws like yourself, but what can we do in our local communities to really affect local policing standards? Because that's where I think it matters, right?
Right, right. Although I am based out of Charlotte, I do have an office in Georgetown, South Carolina, as well as Rock Hill, South Carolina,
Okay.
and we have an office in the South Park area in Charlotte. But what I would tell people to do, like anyone, get involved and vote for one. Vote for those candidates who you believe represents your best interest. Report incidents of that you believe police officers are using excessive force. Don't be afraid to pull out your cameras. It is nothing wrong. You have a legal right to video and observe police officers in their duties. And also, you can always file a complaint or send a message to the internal affairs of the police department here in Mecklenburg County, or even anywhere around the country. Here in Mecklenburg County, we also have a community relations board that you can reach out to and file an official complaint and be heard there. But certainly get involved. Doing nothing will not get us there.
All right, nice. I love that. I love that. So basically, I found it very interesting that our Blackout Tuesday was on the day, at least locally. We had 8 primaries in DC and Maryland. We had some pretty major voting. So it was interesting to say the least, to making sure that there was a lot of messages and not people not talking about it, but voting was really important on that day, and hopefully we continue that going forward. So thank you for mentioning that. Now, just in terms of your business practice, what are kind of the goals? You've already got 3 offices set up. I mean, it sounds like you've done tremendously well for yourself, and good job, because you're providing a service to the people. Where are you going from now? What's the ultimate goals, career goals that you have?
Well, hopefully, semi-retire one day. One day. I really enjoy what I do, and the blessing that I had such a great training at Johnson C. Smith University, as well as North Carolina Central, that I've been successful as a trial lawyer. And certainly I've represented people who's been charged with anything from speeding tickets to murder, and successfully represented those folks. And then we've also represented people who are charged, who are been injured, and people in estates or family members who've lost a loved one in wrongful death cases and medical malpractice cases. So I've been successful, and I'm thankful, but it wasn't just because of me. The one thing that I think I have that has helped me to take me this far is that I have the ability to build a good team, and I have a good team around me. And so they support me, and we're like a family. So they're the people that make me successful.
Good, good. I love that, man. That's a major shout out to the team. They're back there, woo, 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 rooting you on that. So that's what's
Right.
up. Now, what advice would you give to the young alumni base? You know, because I joke with them all the time. I'm class of 2000.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, I'm the old head in the room now. We've got young folks who are getting out 2010, 2015. They're
Mhm.
really starting to really navigate these waters. What advice would you give to them in terms of getting them, showing them how to get to your position?
Well, you know what? I'll say, certainly this may sound cliche-ish, but I certainly would tell people to shoot for the moon, and certainly pursue their dreams. Don't be afraid to pursue your dreams, because even if you fail, you've tried. And I think I read something a long time ago as I was seeking to pursue my dreams, and I read something that I'm sorry about that. Uh, and it said, I'd rather attempt to do something and fail than attempt to do nothing and succeed.
Mm.
So many of us will allow the fear of failure to prevent us from pursuing our dreams. And I understand what that is. Um, but the most satisfying thing in the world, one of the most satisfying things in the world, is to know that you've accomplished something that you wanted to accomplish. And certainly those things that are really worth pursuing are sometimes very difficult. But it's all worth it. I can tell you that you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be a doctor, you can be whatever you want, but don't be afraid to pursue that dream. Don't be the one to be on the deathbed and say, "What if I'd done this?" You don't want to be that person. And so when the day that I had passed the bar, I can remember like it was yesterday. And I was 32 when I started law school. So I was 35 when I finished law school. And the first thing I did as a single man back then, I ran like any kid would, call their mother and say, "Hey, we did it." So pursuing your dreams and accomplishing what you really want to do, there's no better feeling in the world. So don't be afraid, confront your fears, and go after what you want to do, really.
Man, I'm I love it. I second you on that. So as a small business owner, I remember the first time I passed the CPA, I went nuts. So and that foundation started at
Right.
Smith. So I second you. I know the bar is infinitely more even impossible than that, but I second that. So kind of finally leaving off, how do people what type of clients do you work with, and how do people get in touch with you if they do need legal advice, need to hire you?
I have, me personally, my firm covers the different areas, but I work with serious criminal cases, as well as catastrophic injuries and wrongful death cases. I have a couple of attorneys that work with me and that support me, and attorney Tiffany Scott handles the family law area and business area for us. Nicole Wiley handles the wills and estates areas for us at this office in Charlotte. You can certainly reach me at 704-358-0026, or you can hit us on the web, www.snowlegal.com. You can always give me a call. I'm pretty easy to find. I think I'm the only Snow law firm or lawyer in the Charlotte area. So if you're ever in the Charlotte area, please stop by. Particularly if you're, Smith alum, please. It's like family. You don't have to feel that, hey, you're bothering me. I would welcome people from the Smith community to holler at me when you're in town.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for doing this Feature Friday. Thank you for dropping. I think you dropped some really awesome gems, man. I appreciate it. All right.
Hey, thank you, sir.
All
It's my
right.
pleasure.
Keep up the good work.